Too often.
That's
This
for
time
sure.
we're going to have to.
Over your shoulder.
I know. Well, as long as you
Good.
guys
Perfect.
corral me. Wow, this is, didn't expect this many.
Yeah, right.
I didn't. All right, first of all, like I said, just indulge me for a little bit. I've got a little statement to read. Thank you for all coming. That's one thing I do want to say, that these last few months, not once have I tried to take this as a joke. And again, try and get my 15 minutes of fame. I've had a lot of 15-minute of shames in my career. So, anyways, as you all know, I'm from Windsor. Windsor is my hometown. All right? This is where I grew up. This is where the idea and hopefully the possibility of playing in the NHL became a reality. I owe this hometown a lot. I want to give back. The question is, how do I give it back? Saddens me deeply the state that Windsor is in, leading the country in unemployment, vacancies, bankruptcies, finger pointing, and finding straw men to blame. Instead of working together, we talk to each other through the media, we talk to each other through lawyers, we create division in our community for short-term political gain. We pick fights with our neighbors like Tecumseh and surrounding communities. We don't reach out to try and settle our differences over we hoard information. We leak stories, we make announcements to try and gain politically at the expense of our future, like the recent non-announcement Francis made at the Windsor Airport. Mayor's office needs a leader. What we have is a politician. In my career, I got to play with the likes of Wayne Gretzky and Steve Eisler. I've seen their create atmosphere in that dressing room, within that team, that eventually led to championships. There's no reason why Windsor can't do that. I know a little bit about teamwork and leadership. I know what it takes to win. Windsor's not winning right now. It's not even close. We are losing. It's badly broken. In a hockey metaphor, the head coach needs to go. Let's have a quick look at the record of the head coach. Mr. Francis campaigned in 2003 to attract auto investment. Result, Windsor lost 15,000 auto jobs. Windsor has led the entire country in unemployment since Mr. Francis walked into City Hall. Mr. Francis campaigned to end downtown violence. Result, Mr. Francis told the community to avoid downtown because it's too dangerous. Mr. Francis campaigned on an open and transparent government. Result, most secretive city government in history, ranging from backdoor pay raises, an attempted shady deal with convicted felon Kwame Kilpatrick, hoarding information from council, leading Councilman Haberstadt to say, this is no way to run a city. And I agree. Mr. Francis campaigned on serving only 2 terms. Result, he now wants to run for a 3rd. His words apparently don't mean anything. Windsor is at a crossroad. If Windsor does not radically change how we conduct ourselves as a community, we will fall even more behind. More unemployment, more vacancies, more division, more fighting, more mediocrity, and more failure. I ask the question to my fellow Windsorites, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Regrettably, most are not. Many have lost their jobs. Many more are suffering great economic hardship. You all should know, Eddie Francis has not. He has done very well while Windsor has declined. While this community is hurting, he has insisted that we all tighten our belts. What has Francis done to save the city money? Has he taken a pay cut or a pay freeze? The answer, sadly, is no. Worse yet, he quietly doubled his salary to approximately $180,000 per year. Yes, folks, he gave himself a 100% raise. While demanding austerity, cutbacks, and 0% from his employees, he gives himself 100% increase. No wonder he broke his promise to only serve 2 terms. He now makes more money than the mayor of Toronto, a city 10 times the size of Windsor. That is not leadership, that's arrogance, that's personal greed. And now he wants us to forget that he promised to leave the mayor's office after 2 terms. I won't, and I hope we won't. Join me in assuring that Eddie Francis keeps at least one of those promises, his promise to leave. In the last few months, many business leaders, labor representatives, family, friends have been urging me to run. To bring this community together, to bring jobs and economic development here. I thank them for their confidence, and I assure them that I share a strong desire for the change that I have mentioned above. This community badly needs it. However, after much thought and consideration, I have decided not to run for mayor. But I believe that a majority of this community wants to see Mr. Francis gone. And I am concerned that by me running, I will split that majority of that vote. And that will ensure Francis to be reelected. I can't let that happen. I can't be that selfish. But today, as I'm announcing I'm not running, I'm also announcing that I am supporting the best candidate for that job. And the candidate who I feel can move the city forward. And that candidate, if he wants my help and the help of my supporters, and believe me, there's many, I do feel if I would have run, I could win this election. But if he wants our help, that candidate will ensure Eddie Francis is defeated. And that candidate is Rick Limoges. I thank you. I hope I haven't wasted your time, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. I wanted to keep this completely my idea. My campaign manager, who would have been my campaign manager, and the group that was strongly urging, they asked me to talk to Rick, and I just wanted to get this over with before I talk to Rick.
When will you be talking to Rick?
Probably this week. That's allowing, if that's assuming Rick wants to talk to me.
So you haven't told Rick yet that you're publicly...
I think through some of my friends, he had an inkling. Rick's a very good friend of mine, and I feel very, very confident in his ability. But I can honestly tell you guys that I'm going to keep a pulse on this city for the next 4 years. And one of the reasons not to run is I felt it was too short a time to put everything together, get out there campaigning, and not make I want to make a good run. And trust me, in 3 years, if there's not an improvement here, I will put together that last year a committee and a group that we will come back strong.
Why do you think that Rick is the good candidate? Is it just an anti-Eddie vote, or do you think...
This has nothing to do with anti-Eddie vote. I mean on my side. Eddie's had 8 years, 7 years. He hasn't done anything. It's time for a change. Rick, a lot of people are saying, you know, he's been out of it. He hasn't been out of it. He's had a pulse on this city. I just believe that Rick can move it forward.
Eddie, you said you were 100% sure that you would win if you decided to run. What do you base that on? So you don't have a political background.
You know what? I come from confidence. But, you know, the thing is that just by the majority of phone calls, I walk into a place and they're all saying, we'll vote for you, we'll campaign for you, we'll go door to door. Just by that thing, I got to feel confident that I would. And also, I mentioned it, we need a leader, not a politician. Everyone knows I'm not a politician, but I got a pretty good pulse. But I would surround myself with a good group of people. It's not just city council, it's people that has a pulse, a team. That's the team concept that I'm talking about. People that have businesses here, that wants this city. How about, many of you have family, kids? They have to leave Windsor to find jobs after they graduate. There is nothing here. I had a meeting with the movie industry. They said they presented something to the city in 2005. Look what it's kind of done for outside Detroit, Oakland County. It's a thriving business industry now. Everybody goes to the movies. And they want to make movies in Windsor. Well, there should be a commission, there should be a board. You know, there's a lot of things we can do. I talked to a businessman who has a very good law practice here, who, I'm not going to mention his name, but you'd be surprised with his support. And but anyways, that's why I feel strong. But he's the same thing. He says in his business, he attracts a lot of people with investment. And they don't want to come to Windsor after looking at our downtown, after looking that there's no breaks here to get, you know, just a lot of little things. Rick, I think, has a pulse on that. He's been at the parliament level, and I think he can get it done.
Will your backers be backing Limoges?
They told me they would. They told me they would. And they said, in fact, yesterday's meeting, this was a difficult decision, okay, not to run, because there's a challenge here. and I like challenges. I think you've seen the team that David Batten and I put together for our benefit. Not many people wrote a check 2 weeks ago for $1 million. That's above what we've donated. We've donated over $3 million to the Sunshine Foundation in 19 years. That's what the city has to be about. We have to get together and work as a team, not one man.
Were you encouraged by anyone not to run because it could potentially split the anti-Eddie vote?
It was a decision of the group that was going to be my campaign, campaign team, that we weighed all the pros and cons. The fact is, Rick and I are kind of in with the same people. So, there might be a rift there who to vote. And if we split that vote, Eddie probably gets in.
Who are your backers? Did Batten play a role in the state Batten?
I'm not going to mention anybody because they still have ties to other things, and it's really no reason to.
Were some of Rick Limoges' people then involved in this discussion? Over...
Nope. They were all my guys that put together. This all started, guys, about 2 months ago. I was sitting with 5 judges, and at the time, Eddie Francis was the only guy running. And it all started with, I can't let this guy get in, because no one was coming forward. So I brought it up to the 5 judges. They all said, well, you got our support. And it wasn't even, and they weren't kidding. And I said, are you kidding? What? Because this is going to be a big decision. And we were sitting in a restaurant. And that's what led me to start, well, let's kind of dig deeper and deeper. And then my family and friends are, one person says, you know what, we'll vote for you. You're a boy from the hood. Makes sense.
How many years has it been since you lived in Windsor?
Well, I got here from New York in '83, but when you say how many years it's been, I'm in Windsor like 3-4 times
yeah, but
a
the
week.
question is, when did you live here?
Oh, when?
Yeah.
Well, 1954 till I left for my first year pro. But we still have our house on Lillian Avenue, if that's what you mean. I just spent 3 months there, so I guess if you're saying something, 3 months.
So you're still paying property taxes here?
Yeah.
But your principal residence is in Michigan?
It's in Michigan. That's another decision that I had to make to, and I felt it's too quick to make that decision to bring everything back. But I can tell you, I have no problem moving back here. I've always wanted to keep
Those 5 judges, how many of them live in Windsor?
all 5.
Sure.
Positive.
You spoke about the...
If asked, so will you campaign door to door with Limoges?
If asked, sure.
You spoke
Sure,
about
I would do it.
You spoke about the thousands of auto sector jobs that have gone, have been lost during Eddie's last stint on as mayor. I'm just wondering, how would Rick Limoges have done it differently? Do you know? And
You're going to have to ask Rick that, but I can tell you one thing that was told to me. And again, this is all told to me. That when Chrysler was building that new building on Central Island, and they had the girders up, right? They had asked Eddie for a little tax break. But they also promised him another part that they would bring in. And Eddie flexed his muscles and said no. They didn't think he would tear down the thing. They tore it down and moved it.
Eddie tore it down?
No, Chrysler did. Because Eddie wouldn't budge, and this again is speculation. It's nothing, but I was told from somebody inside city government that that's what happened. That's why Chrysler went down, because they